Hi, my name is Felix. So here I am to help you sing on tune. A song is just a succession of sounds. Noise is also a sound. So let us test your microphone. Here I have an oscilloscope to visualize the sound. If it is silent, the scope just shows a line, like this. If we speak or clap our hands, we see for a moment a distortion of this silent line, like here in this snapshot. Now try it yourself. Be quiet and then make some noise. Your microphone should be connected to your computer. When I am on the left side, the scope will show the input of your sound input device.
Yep.
Okay, I've got some noise. So we can move on and look what happens if we sing a note. Interesting. We see a more or less steady wavy line. So singing brings some order into the chaos. Try it yourself. Hum or sing any note. Watch the scope and try until you see a wavy pattern. You cannot go wrong.
La.
Hey, I heard a pitch. Good. Let us place the pitch into some relation. First we move the scope down to the bottom. Then we draw some reference lines. Now let us display the pitch as a small ball. When I hear a low note, the ball is more towards the bottom. When I hear a high note, the ball is towards the top. A medium note goes of course in the middle. By the way, I recognized your note as a. Now try to move the ball up and down just by singing. If I recognize a pitch, I will raise the ball to that level. Interesting. I could hear a low note and a high note. The lowest note was, the highest note was, but what means low and high? To have a better understanding of low and high, we will put a piano for a moment sideways. What do we see? Every white key corresponds with either a line or a space. On the piano there is a key called middle C. It is this key, which corresponds to that line. To easier spot this line, the musicians just removed it. If they later use it again, they make small lines called ledger lines. They also left out the lines above this one and below that one. These 5 lines are called the treble staff. To mark them, they invented the treble clef. These 5 lines are called the bass staff. To distinguish the staffs, we put the bass clef here. But there is more than only pitch. If you do something, time passes by. This is also true for singing. To make time visible, an easy way is to walk a distance. The more I am to the right, the more time has passed. To have a better reference, I bounce a ball in front of me and mark the movement of the ball. In this way, we get a zigzag line. The steady beat has arrived. Now let us see if you can keep the beat. I have put some equally apart quarter notes on the staff. I will bounce the ball and count every time I hit the ball. You clap your hands every time I hit the ball. When I reach 4, I start walking with my Beten. You continue clapping. Every time I kick my Beten, you should be clapping or snapping. Okay? Let us go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, let us look at the beat sample. You may have noticed that I collected the magnitudes of the sounds. Let me explain how I interpret your clapping. When the beat line bounces and starts falling, your beat click should be heard. If this is the case, I mark the loudest position green. To better see the loudest position, I make the line longer downwards. If you are too early, I color the line yellow, like in this sample. If you are too late, I color the line blue, like here. If you make a noise louder than a certain level before the next note, the green marking will change to red, and the afterbeat will be shown in light blue, also with a longer downwards line, like here. It is very hard to keep the beat like a clock over a longer time period if you do not have a reference. With music it is much easier, and the more you practice, the better your feeling for the time will get. However, the beat alone is pretty boring. Let us listen to a fast beat.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. It's got a backbeat, you can't lose it. Any old time you use it. It's gotta be rock and roll music. If you wanna dance with me. If you wanna dance with me.
Hey, I like that rock and roll music.
That's why I go for that rock and roll music.
Yeah. But when I'm tired, I like to listen to a slow blues.
Let me show you I love you. Each and every day.
Wow! But in these two examples, there is more than only beat. There is rhythm. Rhythm gives music the soul. Listen carefully to this sample of the king of rock and roll.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, that heartbreak hotel where I'll be.
The beginning of the song is just song, but it has a rhythm. Let us look at the amplitude curve of this sample. For easier reference, I have written the lyrics below. We see a variation of the loudness. The words baby, me, found and place are accentuated. Tempo is only one part of rhythm. The more important part of rhythm is the emphasis of sounds. Rhythm is the combination of short and long, soft and loud sounds. Let us do a rhythm exercise. You like to dance? Let us try a waltz from Strauss. Here are the notes. Don't worry. I drastically simplified the notes for you. The notes which get emphasized are marked with an arrow symbol above. Listen to the waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In the following exercise, you do not have to sing. Just count like I did and emphasize the 1. To ease the exercise, the waltz will play in the background. In order that the microphone does not pick up the sample, you should wear a headphone and not play through the speaker. Okay, I will count to 3 before the waltz will start.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Alright. By the way, silence is just a special form of loudness. As before, I work with colors to show you the loudness. Purple means within range. That means for a normal note, the loudness has to be in the following range to get recognized as purple. Louder sounds will be marked orange, and softer sounds will be shown as brown. Emphasized notes have to be in the following range to get recognized as correct and get colored purple. For softer notes, the loudness range has of course to be in this low area to get a purple marking. Up in the corner, I show the loudness score counter. In addition, I introduced the time signature. In a waltz, we play 3 quarter notes before we restart counting. Now, listen to the following 5 notes which start a scale. A scale is a scale, but some of you can tell from these 5 notes which song it was. Why? It is the instrument. Well, I reveal the song now. The Stones used a special synthesizer piano to produce the sounds. Every instrument has its own characteristics. For example, a piano can only play distinct notes which correspond to the keys. A guitar has frets, but strings can be bent to change their physical behavior and thus produce tones in between. The voice is a very precious instrument. It allows us to sing all pitches. Of course, physical limitations allow us not to control every bit of our voice. So it can be that you can sing the vowel E higher than the vowel A. Some people have easier control of the pitch by humming. If you have difficulties singing a particular note, try to hum the note instead of singing. The voice is very complex. Even if a note has the same pitch, we can differentiate if the syllable was an A or an E or whatever. We can even go further and say if it was a woman or a man who sang, regardless that the pitch was the same. Here comes a short exercise about instruments. Which instrument plays the melody of the tune? Click the right button. Yes! Always keep in mind, your voice is unique. Don't try to change that. Your girlfriend may prefer your voice singing the following text instead of Bobby Winton.
To know you is to love you. Just to see you smile.
For women, the original song name is To Know Him is to Love Him from the Teddy Bears. Well, I guess you do not even have to sing those words. This is also a remarkable attribute of the instrument voice. It can generate words, which can be understood. The words can be powerful, express feelings, and more. After introducing pitch, beat, rhythm, and instrument, there is another concept. It is here to put the aforementioned components together. Music notation. Music notation helps us to remember text and melodies, and it gives us hints on how to perform a song. So far we have seen the stuff, the treble and bass clef, ledger lines, quarter notes, the time signature, lyrics, and accents to emphasize a note. During the lessons, you will learn more elements of the music. Explore the lessons and have fun.